Hey all, had such good luck with the pumpkin spice bread in the ANOVA that we're going to give a try to a flourless chocolate cake. So I'm going to set the ANOVA to 115 and hit go. And once it gets up to 115, we'll move on to the next step. All right, so what the recipe calls for is 4 ounces of butter and half a pound of chocolate chips. 226 grams. This bowl is now our half pound of chocolate chips. We're going to put our 4-ounce stick of butter and our half pound of chocolate chips into a Ziploc bag and put it into the sous vide water bath. So we have the butter and chocolate in the Ziploc bag. We're going to stick it in the sous vide for 15 minutes. We're going to take it out every 5 minutes and mush it around and get that chocolate all melted up real nice. So now we have the bag of chips and butter in the sous vide. Put the lid back on to let the temp stay good. So at the end of the 15 minutes, we have a smushy bag of buttery chocolate. And we're going to start on the next step, but the first thing we have to do is we have to crank up the heat on the sous vide to 171 and let it heat up. The next step listed is to prepare 6 of these small 125 ml jars, canning jars, with cooking spray and set them aside. Our next step will be to get 4 cold eggs. For this, I'm going to use 4 of my big, gorgeous farm fresh eggs. Maybe 2 at a time because they're really big. And we're supposed to beat the eggs with the standing mixer until the volume doubles. Okay, I'm gonna say that's about doubled. It's pretty wet. It's pretty, with the butter in there, it's pretty liquidy. So, I'm gonna put it on low. And then we're gonna carefully cut the corner of this bag so that we don't make a mess. Just like if we were gonna do icing. Chocolate. The goal is to get a homogeneous mixture, which I think we have definitely done. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to pour it into the jars. Now in the photo, it looks like these can be pretty full. I know like with the pumpkin cake, you have to leave it 2/3 full because they expand so much. This not having anything in it other than eggs shouldn't expand a whole lot. Pour them into the jars and then we're going to put the lids on just finger tight, just like always. And once the bath gets up to heat, we'll put them in for 1 hour. What it also says is to smooth the surface of the jar is by tapping it on the palm of your hand, which it sure does. Up to temp, and we're going to drop the jars in. So it's been an hour. We're going to use our dishwashing gloves and our spoon to take these little cakes out of the sous vide bath. We're going to put them on a cooling rack and we're going to let them cool to room temperature. There are our cakes. We're going to let them cool to room temperature and then we're going to refrigerate them for 6 hours. So we'll see y'all tomorrow for the reveal. After the minimum 6 hours, we've got it out of the fridge. A quick swipe around the jar with a knife and it falls right out. I will leave a link to the recipe in the description box. We test the texture with a fork. It's maybe not quite like cake, but definitely not bad for texture. And all in all, it was pretty tasty. Maybe not my favorite, but certainly worth a try.